All right, here we go, folks. After a couple of years hiatus, we are back. Patriot Football League resumes for its 18th season. The Columbia Coolers. This is fitting. The Coolers would be in the opening game of the 18th season on the road against Northborough Tigers. Dale Branham, owner of the Columbia Coolers, Northborough Tigers. Dale Branham's team's coached by Frank Tarkenton, and Northborough Tigers are coached by Sammy O'Connor. The quarterback for Columbia, Franklin. Halfback Johnson, DeWellen at fullback, and Kliss is the third back. Wamacow is at split end. Tight end is Pennywell. Flanker is Gordon. And our fourth receiver, slot/second tight, is McDaniels. The punter place kicker is Devin. Kick returner is Incognelia. Punt returner also Incognelia. The defense is not very good, D4, but they have some stars on this squad. In their history, 36-11-1. This is not including their pre-grid ball history. So these records are only their grid ball records. I have not compiled their records for all the seasons we played before grid ball. So how are we in our 18th year and it's only 48 games? Because we had a lot of games in other league, a different game before we got to grid ball. But they're 36-11-1 in the last 6 years. Let's put it that way, right? Something like that. Northborough Tigers are 15-32. The Coolers have won 7 titles, 5 Stars and Stripes, and 2 grid balls. The grid balls come when we were clashing with Scott's grid ball. So we would finish our league, and then our champions would go over and face Scott's team and our Scott's league, and so the Coolers managed to win a couple of grid ball trophies during that period. So let's talk about this game. What's the title? It's called Full On Football. Full On Football. It is a super. It's probably the most abstract possession-based football game I have ever seen, and that's probably the reason I absolutely fell in love with it. I love this. It's so abstract. It's so great. What you need are offensive dice, and your teams are going to have a value. So, for instance, both these teams are D10, so I don't need the D8, and I don't need the D12. We won't be needing those. So both teams will be using the green D10 for their offenses, and then, of course, you need either a D4 or a D6 for defense. This is it. There are no other defensive dice. So either you're really bad or you're pretty solid, right? I mean, there's not going to be, and that may change as we continue to play test this. We may need a D8, but the D8 creates, I think, too many stalemates. The point is, these two teams are both going to be using a D10, and on defense, D6, D4. So we're going to be using a D4 here, and clearly Northborough has a better defense, D6, okay? This is called the dueling dice system, right? So Dell has got a golf game that uses this system. He's toyed with some role-playing games using this system, and this football game uses this system. He didn't call it dueling dice. I call it dueling dice because what you're doing is you're rolling them, and you're subtracting the defensive die from the offensive die, and that's your result. Okay. Additionally, we added team rosters. So now, when you have a touchdown or whatever, you roll to see who carries the ball. You roll to see who catches the pass. If something happens on defense, you roll the D10 to see who's involved. Okay? So that's pretty simple. But we also have a standard team detail chart. If there's a field goal, you roll to see what the detail is. If we score a touchdown and miss the extra point, you roll to see the detail. If there's a touchdown, you roll to see the touchdown. If there is a turnover, and you're going to see why this is important because it's so abstract. I've never played a football game quite like it. You need to roll to find out how the ball changed hands. And if there's a net negative defensive, we roll to see how that net negative happened. So you don't need that chart. You don't need these. You can literally just create your teams with these dice and just play the game. We created these to give a lot more depth to the engine. Okay, so this die will be rolled as a third die for that chart. Okay, we're going to flip a coin, and Dell, of course, in his rules says you need to flip a coin for home and away, which is traditional. I normally just either assign the home or away starter in my games, or I'll just roll a die. But we're going to flip a coin. I've got some foreign coin my wife collected in her world travels. It's probably worth who knows what. I don't even know where this things came from, but it's pretty cool looking. Anyway, we've got a bearded guy here on the front. It says S100, and then on the back we've got, it looks like an eagle or something. So anyway, let's flip this coin. It's probably a peso or half peso or a dollar peso or something. I don't know. Okay, so heads, Colombia wins the coin toss. Oh, damn. And I dropped it on the floor. That's an auspicious start to this amazing... Let's try again. I feel like Niles and Frazier. I can't catch. Yeah, heads. So Colombia is going to win the kickoff. So they're going to get the ball first. Now, so we talk about possession-based, but this is turn-based. Every team will get their 3 turns per quarter. We can call them possessions, but they get them. So if there's a punt return for a touchdown or a defensive score for a touchdown, doesn't matter. Columbia will always get their 3 turns per quarter. Northborough will always get their 3 turns. And why are we calling them turns? Because you roll the dice 1 time for your offense. That's it. So you can see why it's important now. So Columbia is going to get the ball first, right? And here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is make a simple die roll to see the kickoff, right? 1, 2, or 5, Columbia will return this ball out to the 30. No, they're going to return it to the 20, or it's touchback, whatever, however you want to see it. So Columbia gets the ball to start on their 20. And remember, we're using the D10 for offense. Their defense is D6. And here we go. We're going to roll this for the drive results. So the game works like this. 70 yards minus the defense, 30. It is a 40-yard game. 10, 20, 30, 40. But that's where it stops, period. Drive's over. You don't keep going. So this is not where you're driving and keep driving. You drive. If you don't score... again, abstract. The drive ends. They take possession right there. Okay? And 3 tells us how. Line of scrimmage 3, punt. So part of that 40 yards was a punt. Now we could have driven it 4 yards, 3 and out, punted the ball away. Okay? That's how it works. So now they're on offense. So Columbia ends up with a punt. Right? Now, NBT, and now you see why we need those, we're calling them turns. So what did the Northborough Tigers do? 6 and 4. Oh wow! So Columbia may not be rated high, but holy cow, they executed beautifully. 20-yard move for Northborough. 1, 2, and it ends right there. 4 is a fumble lost. So they were driving the ball, coughed it up. So and who did that? Who coughed up the ball? Let's roll for their ball carriers. 1. It's going to be Erisho, their best back. Erisho, fumble lost. Now Columbia takes over. And you'll see here, it's so abstract, but it's going to be so fast, and you're going to be able to tell a narrative tale with it. Here we go. Oh, 80-yard drive, minus only 1. So Northborough gets destroyed. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Touchdown, 7 points. How did we do it? 5 on the 7-point touchdown is a pass touchdown. And let's roll to see who catches the pass touchdown. 7, it's going to be McDaniels catches the touchdown from Franklin. And the crowd goes wild here in Northborough, angry that their defense was just manhandled on that drive. So what's great about narrative dice, this is a brilliant drive, and the defense just flat backpedaling the whole time. So we can tell from the weight of the dice how good was this drive, how bad was their defense. So it really gives us a weight to what that drive must have looked like. Franklin, TD pass to McDaniels. And there it is, folks, the first touchdown of the 18th season campaign, 2037, and automatically PAT. Columbia's up 7-0, folks. That was beautiful. So if you go 1 deep, that's a field goal, automatic field goal. If you go 2 deep, it's a touchdown with a missed extra point. If you go 3 deep or more, it's a touchdown, 7 points. So that's why 80 isn't just a touchdown. You got to count all the way through, right? So he could have just got into the end zone, and that would have meant that his team kicked a field goal at some point on this drive, and then the 10 would have told us how long the field goal was. Okay, so it is abstract, but holy cow. All right, here we go. Kick return is 6. They're going to be out to the 20. So Northborough falls behind. Their fans not happy. But here we go. Let's see what Northborough can do with their second turn of the quarter. Oh, they're going to get a defensive score. So 3 minus 8 is loss of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a defensive score. How did they score 8? 8 is a fumble return. Scoop and score by 5. Lertman, their best linebacker. So it's going to be a Columbia scoop and score by Lertman. And the extra point's good. It is 14-0. And the MBT, the fans here now completely beside themselves. And that's why you want to get the ball somewhere out of your territory, because that's a huge... Oh, I read the wrong one. Dang it. Or did I? No, I rolled that, right? It was a fumble lost, right? Yeah, that was... so it should have been a 1. Whoops. 1 from 5 is 4. See, I made the mistake. Wait, no, I didn't. How did I do that? I did read the wrong die, though, didn't I? Oh, my God. This is what happens when I roll 2 10s. What was it? It was... Because this says 1 on it. So that's definitely the defense. I messed that up. So let's go back. I'm going to correct this right now. I don't want to go on with a mistake. Because technically we're sharing this for the first time. We're play testing. So let's go MBT. Let's get this right. So I rolled a 5 and a 1. So they went 40. Excuse me. 10, 20, 30, 40. However, 8 was a fumble loss. So they still lose a fumble. Who lost the fumble? Oh, wait, we rolled the running die. 2, it is our Era Show again. So Era Show's had 2 lost fumbles in the first. Columbia takes over right there. There we go. Sorry about that. I got to remember that this die is the results die. Wow, so 10 and 6. It's another 40-yard drive for Columbia. 1, 2, 3, 4, but it ends on 7. And why does it end? On a punt. So they ended up punting here. And now MBT's final drive. So it's 7-zip. Thank God I figured that out. I wasn't paying attention to the right dice. Get that out of the way. All right, MBT from their own 20. Minus 4. They're going to go 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5. How does it end? It ends on a punt. So they end up punting. Wow. Columbia up 7-0 after 1, folks. And we had all 6 turns or 6 possessions. Franklin throws a TD pass to McDaniels after an 80-yard plus drive. Our 80 value drive. All right, here we go. So now it is Columbia starting the second quarter. Columbia starting the second quarter. Oh, 9. I think they just scored again. 60. No, they didn't. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Brilliant drive down to the 10. 3. It is a punt. So somewhere along here they ended up punting in a coffin corner punt. So again, they started here somewhere in the middle. They instead of choosing to try to kick a long field goal or go for it, they coffin corner punt. That's what that's going. So I'm going to put CC punt. Again, you'll start to make narrative sense of how that occurs. Drive ins right there. It's very fast and it's actually very elegant. All right, here we go. The MBT. They're down by 7. Let's see what they can do. They're going to go 40 yards again. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 2. They're going to punt or miss field goal. It's going to be a punt. So they must have got stalemated here and punted it, and fair catch at the 50. Columbia, wow, it's amazing how well this works. So sweet. And it's fast. This is a possession-based game, but super fast with details. Oh, look at this. It's going to be a -1. So they lose 10. Excuse me. Oh, I did it again. They get 7. Excuse me. So Columbia is going to get, I'm reading the wrong die. 7. That's going to be a touchdown. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It's another touchdown. How did they score 10? They scored on a pass again. And the pass is to 9. It's going to be to the back. Dwellin out of the backfield. So it's going to be a Franklin pass TD to Dwellin, the big fullback, who's really, again, looking at his ratings from Grid Zone, he started a 3 in his career. He was down to a 1 back in the last season, so he was really suffering. 14-0. Let's roll for the kickoff. The kickoff is out to the 30, so they get a decent return from Camstead, right? And where's my 10? There it is. Okay, so Northborough, much better. They're facing a far worse defense, but they're not executing on offense. 20 yards, 10-20. 6 tells us it was a punt. So the MBT had to punt. Now that could have been a longer punt that was returned 20 yards, right? It's just net. It's called net difference. Net line of scrimmage, or net negative. Net negative is going to have blocks, fumble recoveries, interception returns. Right now we're looking at line of scrimmage net. We're looking at line of scrimmage losses, right, or failures. Okay, Columbia up 14. Final possession for them in this quarter. The Columbia Coolers. Once I get this down, I'll be able to just have fun and play this game, narrate it. There it is. So 30 yards for Columbia again. 10, 20, 30. 9 is a missed field goal. There you go. They're at the 20. Wow. So Devin misses a field goal. How far was the field goal? 9. It was 35 yards. Field goal of 35 misses. And folks, it could be 17-0. Here we go. The MBT takes over right there. They are facing the weaker defensive die, but they have not had much success. 5 and 3 is 20 yards. 10, 20, 8. 8 is a fumble loss. They get another fumble lost. Who loses it this time? Hampton loses it. They've had 3 fumbles lost in the first half, and that's it, folks. It is 14-0 at the half as the MBT have seen Franklin open the season. Now, Franklin also finished last season in grid ball. He was the #1 passer, the league MVP. He also set a record for the most yards passing in a season. He started this out already with 2 touchdown passes. That is pretty sweet. The MBT now gets the ball to start the second half. And again, they're facing the weaker defensive die. But we got to do the kickoff. And 5, they're going to get it out to the 30. That gives them some wiggle room from those defensive scores. But the MBT, they have potential facing only a 4 defense. They really do. They should be winning this. 8 and 2, yep, 60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's going to die at the 10. The drive dies at the 10, 5, and they punt it. So at some point here, along here, they did a long punt. Unbelievable. Columbia is going... I'm going to have to roll that. That's not fair. 10. Okay, so they're going to go... Oh, but look at the defense. 190 yards. Oh, my God. Columbia's killing them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's going to be a field goal. Columbia gets a field goal from Devin, who missed one. How long was that field goal? The field goal on the drive was a 22-yard field goal. And, folks, it's 17-0. Columbia destroying the NBT. Welcome back to 11-man football is what I have to say to the Northborough Tigers. Their kickoff is going to be at the 20. And Northborough 4. Man, their defense showed up, held them 6, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to the 23. It was a punt that got them there. And Columbia takes over right there, baby. And here we go, Columbia. What are we doing, Columbia? 6 and 6. Nowhere. Stalemate 2. And it's going to be a punt/missed field goal. Well, they're not going to kick a field goal from here. So they literally must have been driven way back or punted, and it was returned all the way back here. So now this is the best chance for Northborough to score. They're at the 20. Punt with a big, and you could actually, since it was a punt, you could call this a big punt return. Has to be, right? Because they would have punted deep. And to have the ball here means they must have returned this back 30 or 40 yards. And this is the NBT's best chance to score in the whole game. Let's see if they can break the ice here. It's 17-0 at home. This is their final possession or turn of the third quarter. It's going to be 3 and 8 touchdown. They're going to get 7 points. How do they do it? 4 on 7. Pass TD. Oops, pass TD for Jones. So their #1 receiver, Gomez, pass TD to Jones. And folks, we got us a game. It's 17-7. The MBT take advantage of a brilliant punt return by Camstead. Unbelievable. I'll put Camstead here. That is worth noting because he brought it back all the way to the 20. All right, here we go. 1 returns it out to around the 30-yard line. Does Incognalia. And here we go. We're going to be looking at Columbia's final turn of the third quarter. 6 from 7 is 10 yards. 9 is a punt, missed field goal. So again, another punt, and they returned it back. So punt and Camstead with another punt return, and that's going to end the quarter, folks. Columbia gets 3, MBT gets 7. It is 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 turns. And the MBT starts the fourth quarter. It is 17-7. What a brilliant game. Now the MBT, they're sitting pretty here. They got a really good chance to score again. 40-2. They're going to go 20, 10, 20, and 10. 10 says intercepted. Oh, Columbia Coolers pick it off. And 2, so it's going to be Gomez. Intercepted by 2. 2 is, oh, Howard, defensive end, bats the ball in the air and gets a pick, or maybe jumps out on a bubble screen. Howard, their DE, is going to intercept the ball. Holy cow. Columbia's defense doing what they did for 17 years in the Patriot League, playing great defense. Holy shit. Dell has made a great game. I just added details. Game Designs Dells, I added the reason chart, like the why did this happen, and I added our teams. That's so cool. So damn fun. All right, Columbia with the ball. Columbia's going to go -4. It's going to be a defensive score. So the MBT scores 4. They score on a punt return. So they end up punting it, and Camstead. So punt, the NBT on a punt return TD by Camstead, who's already had one big return today, and it's going back far enough that it scores on defense. If you get a negative number, right? So it's -4, 1, 2, doesn't matter. If you get a negative number into your end zone, it doesn't have to go 1, 2, 3. The defense doesn't score field goals. If you just get it into the end zone, it's automatically a defensive score. So holy cow. Campson, or in that sense, 4 told us it was a punt return touchdown. So it is 17-14. Oh my God, the crowd here in Northborough on their feet, unbelievable. And again, Columbia. Again, remember, Columbia gets they can get the back-to-back. They just got to get 3 turns. That's it. So Columbia is technically getting another turn here, back-to-back. Might not be too good for them, because this could end up leading to back-to-back defensive scores for the mighty Tigers. No, 9, -4 is 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The reason for that, I rolled the wrong die. 3 is a punt. So they ended up punting it quite a ways. Now the MBT back in charge. So the MBT down by 3, folks. This is unbelievable. We need these. MBT down by 3. Can they get down a field goal? Oh, I think they may have. 9 -3 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's going to stall at the 10. 3. It was a punt. So it stalled somewhere around here and they punted the ball. Columbia's final possession right here. And then the MBT will get theirs. Yeah, this is their final possession, folks. Columbia. Whoops. Holy cow, what a great game. Jiminy Christmas. Man, Dale, good on you, brother. Man, great stuff. Oh, 10 -3, 70. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It's going to die there with a 5. 5 is a punt. So at some point, they stalled, they punted. And now the MBT on the final turn of the game, folks. This is it. Fortunately, they're facing one of the weaker defenses in the league. They're going to need a 1 and a 10. It'll be 90, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. They could score a field goal to tie it, or they could score 6 and win this baby with a 6. I have to roll a 10 and a 1 for them to win it with this could be huge. The MBT's final drive of the game, folks, as under center Gomez looks down. It's the final 1-minute drive. They've got 3 timeouts. Can Gomez drive them down to tie it or win it? It's 4. No, the Columbia defense is going to step up, and they're going to stone them. It's 4 versus 4. They go nowhere. 1. Turnover on downs. That makes complete sense. TOD as they went for it on 4th down, and the Columbia Coolers. Who made the stop for the Coolers on the turnover? 8. Incognelia. He's going to get credit. Incognelia makes the huge stop on 4th down. Holy cow, that's worth noting in our box score. And the NBT scores 7. Columbia shut out on the 4th, folks. 17-14. Columbia is 1-0. The NBT are 0-1. And folks, we are back to this amazing league. I enjoyed the most fun I've ever had in tabletop sports gaming in my life was when I was running the Patriot Football League on my old channel for that group of guys. So much joy, so much history. To get back to these teams, awesome, and to do it with a brilliant new abstract football game. Unbelievable. Congratulations, Dell. You're 1-0, buddy. That was pretty impressive. 2 long drives with touchdowns from Franklin to Dwellin out of the backfield, McDaniels. Unfortunately, though, you gave up a punt return, which set up a touchdown pass by Gomez, and then a a punt return for a touchdown. So your special teams they're leaving some stuff on the field here, man. A big punt return puts them in a position where he catches a pass, and then they give up a touchdown. Unbelievable. However, you did get a pick from Howard, your defensive end, and Incognelia makes a huge stop to kill MBT's comeback drive. That is incredible. What is today? Today is 11. What is today? 8? 11, 9? I'm going to say 8, 24. That's the first live game ever played. I've been play testing it. I typed everything up. I had to wait to go pick it up from Office Depot. And you can see the field. I think this is the field we're just going to stick with. I've made a board, but I actually like the look of this. I was worried it would not print out real nice. But it actually looks better than the board I've made for the book, because it's going to be in a comic book where you can lay it flat. You'll open it up and your field will be right there, right in the book. So pretty sweet. Again, if you're a bad team, if you are the San Francisco Miners, you're going to be using a D8. If you are the big bad Daytona Triangles, you're going to be using the D12 for your offense. And these are the only 2 possible defensive dice right now. Now, playtesting may serve that maybe an 8 would work. But I think 8, if I was doing historical teams like, say, the 85 Bears, I might allow an 8. I might allow a rare 8 defense, right? Because you can still roll 1s and 2s and 3s. But 8, boy, you can imagine what an 8 will do to the Miners, right? It could be a lot of defensive touchdowns and things. So I would be willing to allow a D8 for super duper defenses, right? Especially if I was creating, again, historical teams, which, again, I told Dell I'm probably going to rate 58, 68, 78, and 88, and they will be in the book. So you'll have 4 decades of pro teams in this book. They'll be just rated. I won't apply players and things, but they will have their ratings. So you can just sit down and play the 88 49ers against the 88 Bengals, in this game. So there you have it, folks. That's it. And again, so you get 1 turn for your offense, whether you go backward or whether you stay or whether you move forward. There is the end of the drive. The other team takes over there, right? Now, again, you could play it without these descriptions and just imagine how they took over the ball right there, punt or fumble or interception. But I went ahead and put in what's called a standard team detail chart. It'll tell you how long the field goal is, how you scored on a touchdown 6, how you scored on a touchdown 7, if you turn the ball over after the drive, or if you have a net negative result. That would be definitely a block, a punt return, interception return, fumble return, scoop and score, right? So there you have it, folks. Pretty damn sweet. It lends itself to fast play, but as much depth and detail as you want to attribute to the results. Whether you use charts or you use tables or whether you just imagine how the Broncos scored on their last drive. Thank you for watching. This has been Full On Football by Mr. Dell Branham of Candlelight Games. By the way, he has a golf game that uses the dueling dice system. I will be typing that up and test playing that. Right now I'm working on this. But Dell shocked me by sending me a couple of sports games. This is a keeper, baby, and I am going to be playing our Patriot Football League using this game. It's that cool. Thank you for watching. Good day.